noun, verb, and adjective phrases fill clauses with characters and actions. This is lesson 7 in the Architecture of Grammar. My name is Léandre Larouche. I'm the author of the Architecture of Grammar and the founder of Trivium Writing. So in this video, we're going to talk about the fact that when it comes to the who and the what, oftentimes parts of speech just aren't enough to convey meaning. In other words, words on their own aren't enough to convey all the meaning we need, and so we often use phrases. So we've talked about the fact that we use nouns, for example, when it comes to the who, when it comes to the subject. We've also talked about the fact that we have verbs to express the actions in a sentence. So that's the what. Now we're going to talk about these phrases, and remember, phrases are simply groups of words that convey more meaning than words otherwise can. So let's talk about noun phrase, and let's really trace the distinction between just a noun and a noun phrase. So again, we've said that the who, that's the subject. That's the subject in the sentence, but the subject can be multiple words. So, for example, we can have the man. So here we have a determiner and a noun. However, in a noun phrase, we can have other words that give more information about the subject. So we could have the young man. So we have an adjective here. Now here's the other thing. We could also have an adverb, and an adverb typically modifies the verb, but it can also modify an adjective. So the young man, young modifies man, which is the noun. Just put it here, noun, adjective, determiner. Now we can add between the determiner and the adjective a adverb. So we're going to add it here. The extremely young man drinks coffee. That's just one example. So here we've created a noun phrase, and so the noun phrase gives more information about the subject. It's a bigger subject, so to say, than if it were just the man or Léandre. Now in this case we have the extremely young man, and as I said, you can use, so there's a determiner, there's an adverb, there's an adjective, and then there's a noun. Now when it comes to the verb, to the what, oftentimes you'll have a verb, and so here that's the word role, that's the function. Most of the time we just have a verb. So just to clarify here, the verb is the word role, but it's also the part of speech. Now here's the thing, we also have modals in the English language. We have modal verbs or auxiliaries, and so we can use those. So the extremely young man drinks coffee. Now if we add a modal verb, then what's going to happen is we might have the extremely young man might drink coffee, or we could have the extremely young man is drinking coffee. So now instead of just having one verb, we have two verbs, and so that's what makes it a phrase. Again, a phrase is a group of words. So instead of drinks coffee, we have is drinking coffee, or might drink coffee, might have been drinking coffee, depending on the verb tense in the sentence. Now we can also have an adjective phrase, and as we've discussed, the adjective modifies the noun, so it would go before the who, and so it would be, it would give us another piece of information, which would be how. And so in this case, it would be, let's say we would put an adjective. Here it would be tired. The extremely young man drinks coffee. Now that's just an adjective. That's not an adjective phrase. To have an adjective phrase, we need to have multiple words. So we could say tired and sad. The extremely young man is drinking coffee. So we'd be here tired, that's one adjective, and sad, that's another adjective. Tired and sad, the extremely young man drinks coffee. So as you've seen here, oftentimes when we're dealing with information blocks, we're using words, we're using parts of speech, we're using nouns, verbs, adjectives, verbs, etc. But in some cases, we need these phrases to convey more meaning, and that's what makes our writing rich. That's what makes our writing interesting and gives it colors. So it's important to know that we can use these phrases in order to enrich our writing. So now go in lesson 7 of the architecture of writing, of grammar, and you'll see exercises, you'll see examples, and you'll be able to find out more in depth how to use these noun and verb phrases as well as adjective phrases in your writing.